everyone, this is Bonus, and today this video is all about wheat. Well, you guys already know that the flour is very important when it comes to baking, right? Especially the breads. So there are like different type of, what are the all-purpose flour, what is the wheat flour. There are plenty of things to understand when it's to flour, right? So I'm gonna start from the scratch so we can have a better understanding on particular wheat, that how it really works and how the all-purpose flour comes. So let's figure out those questions, that what I'm going to cover in this particular video. Here we go. Understanding the flour is very complicated, right? So I just want to make it more simple. So watch this video till end, so it will gonna give you a lot of understanding about the wheat kernel. So let's start the video and understand the basic from the scratch. So let's start. Wheat kernel. This seeds, which industry call a kernel, is made up of the three key edible parts. 1, 2, 3. Clear? The bran, the germ, and the endosperm, protected by an inedible husk that protects the kernel from the assault by the sunlight, pest, water, and diseases. Right, you can see the layers, and on top of it there one husk which protect this kernel. Clear? Wheat bran is highly nutritious and an excellent source of fiber. You can see the wheat bran, right, compressed of 7 layers, makes up 14% of kernel, hard outer layer, protects the grain against pest, illness, etc. And the bran has vitamin B and minerals, insoluble fibers, removed during milling. Note about the bran: has sweetness, nutty flavor. Most chefs add a little bit of extra bran for the sweetness and for the nutty flavor, used to add texture and a full-bodied taste to bread. Clear with this? So the bran helps to give a sweetness and the nutty flavor. It depends on your production, that like what exactly you want your bread to be, like sweet, nutty flavor, so you can add a little bit of extra bran. Clear with this? Before I turn the page, I'm going to show you the diagram here, that what I have made. This wheat kernel makes up 83% of a kernel, which is endosperm. Here the endosperm. The bran, which is 7 layers, composed of 7 layers, makes up 14% of kernel. Then here the germ, which is the germination, makes up 3% of the kernel. And I have explained also this 3 in detail. Here the common wheat, means the scientific name is Triticum aestivum, cultivated wheat species. Clear? This is the scientific name of the wheat. Let's turn the page. Germ, all rudimentary tissue for growth, germination. Germ means germination. High in protein, 25% of enzymes. High in sugar, which is 18% of sucrose plus raffinose. High in lipids. What is lipids? Organic compounds that are oily to the touch and insoluble in water. Clear? So that means lipid. Lipids include fatty acids, oil, wax, sterols, and they are source of stored energy and are a component of cell membrane. So clear with this? This is all about lipids. Removed during flour milling to avoid rancidity during storage. Why we're removing the lipids? Because first of all it has a oil, waxy, means kind of a moisture present in it, right? What happened to our flour? The shelf life will be less if we keep this lipid, because if you have the moisture in your flour, so what happens generally, it get oxidized faster, right? And it'll give a moisture, so it's starting lump, so you can't keep your flour for longer time. Means the shelf life will be reduced. The shelf life will reduce if you have this one. So for that reason we remove this lipid to give a flour longer shelf life. Clear with this? Lipid, remove it. No starch, vitamin B and E. So this is all about the germ, right? No starch, vitamin B and E, trace minerals, antioxidant, healthy fat. So this is all about germ. Let's figure out the endosperm. Endosperm, starchy in nature. You can see this is the endosperm, the part of a kernel, right? And here I have showed that the layer which is, this is the layer, clear? And the protein, this is the white portion is the protein. The cell, which is the cell membrane, you can see here, this is the cell membranes. These are the lines. These lines are the cell membrane, and the dots are the starch. And here the dots are the starch. Clear with this? So this is the endosperm, and this is all the things which is there inside. Clear? Used to make white flour contains mostly starch. Here we go to starch. Energy store for grains, 60 to 70% of the grain's weight. 60 to 75. Insoluble and high molecular weight. Influence degree of gelatinization of food, setting of cake, gravy thicken like roux. We also use the all-purpose flour making roux also, right? So this starch, it has 60 to 75% of weight because it has most of starch, so the weight comes through this. So clear this endosperm. And also it has some carbohydrates, protein and some B vitamins in endosperm. Clear? So you clear with this endosperm and germ, and the previous one what we have gone through is the bran, right? So the three parts of this endosperm we cleared right now, the bran, the 7 layers, we cleared this one right here, and the germination. Let's go to the next page. White flour. White flour is made from the endosperm only. You can see, only endosperm that we'll be using for the AP flour, means all-purpose flour. The normal flour we will be used for the baking purposes. Brown flour including some of a grain, germ and bran. For the brown flour, some of few of germ and bran we use. While whole grain or whole meal grain, means the wheat flour, is made from the entire grain including the bran, endosperm and the germ. Clear with this? So for the white flour we're using only endosperm, and when it comes to the brown we're using germ and bran. And when it comes to the whole wheat flour, we are using 3 of this: the bran, endosperm and germ. Germ flour is made from the endosperm and germ. There's no bran in this, okay? Excluding the bran. Here we go. So this is going to be the shelf life of a whole wheat flour and the all-purpose flour. Let's figure it out. All-purpose flour, 8 months. 6 to 8 months on the shelf, but up to 1 year if refrigerated. Clear? And 2 years if frozen. Make sure to keep it away from moisture. This is very, very important. You have to keep it away from moisture, or else it will just gonna ruin quick. Now the whole wheat flour, 6 to 8 months. Again, it's similar kind of. Exposed to air cause the oil in flour to degrade over time. You can see here oil. I told you, right? Here we go. The lipids has a moisture, right? For the whole wheat flour, we are actually grind the all 3, like the endosperm, germ and bran. Clear? You can see here, whole wheat flour made from the entire grain. That's the reason it has the oiliness. So we have to be careful when it comes to wheat flour, causing the flour to develop a rancid smell. A whole wheat flour can get oxidized quickly, right? Because it has an oil. If we're not going to take care properly of this particular flour, it will start forming lump, right? Because of it has oil. Stored properly, airtight container. Clear with this? Here we go. Flour is bad, means I'm trying to explain you that how to understand the flour is okay or not. Like means when we go to the market, there are some of few flours which is already open, and they sell it in kg, kilos and in half kg, right? It's used to have in a sack open. They used to sell it open, right? So how to figure out your flour is good or not? Like, is it expired or not in good quality? Just to figure it out, I added some of few points here. It can be stale, musty or almost sour, right? In the smell, you have to just smell the flour. It shouldn't have, it shouldn't feel musty, it shouldn't be stale and smell good. Well, the whole wheat has already a smell, but you can smell if the flour smell is sour, you can understand the flour is almost near to expire. It may look discolored. Clear? If your flour has come to contact with water or moisture, large clumps or mold may appear. Clear with this? So this is like to understand your flour. It shouldn't be smell sour. The flour shouldn't be mussy or stale or some foul smell. So you can easily understand the flour is expired or the quality of the flour is not good. Just to keep an idea. Clear with this? Let's go to the next page. This topic is very interesting to understand that how they take the bran out from the wheat kernel. Means extracting this whole bran out from the kernel. Let's figure it out. Bran makes up to 13 to 19% of total wheat grain weight depending on the milling process. There is a wet process and another one is a dry process used for its extraction. The dry milling process involves separation of a bran from the endosperm, which is further ground into fine flour. Extraction of bran from wheat grain is achieved at a highly efficient rate using a roller mill. Before milling, the wheat grains are first tempered through spraying of water to about 15% content and later transferred into tempering bin. And why we do this, let's figure it out. Tempering duration is depend on the hardness. Tempering duration is totally depend on the hardness of the wheat. During this conditioning process, the pulpicle and the germ layer of a kernel absorb water and the endosperm is softened for the extraction process. See, just because of we adding a little bit of moisture, like 15% moisture you can see here, because of to make them more soft. So what happened, the kernel absorbed the water and the endosperm is softened and there it helps to extract easily, right? So they go for the extraction process. And how the conditioning help. Conditioning also prevent the bran from breaking during the separation from the endosperm. Here we go, you can see that how conditioning really helps separating the bran, means it prevents the bran from breaking during the process, right? Like to separation. Here I have another way to extract. Other bran extraction process are paddling, pilling and bran fracturations, which yield bran with enhanced nutrition quality. The removal of the outer layer of wheat kernel by friction and Bunsen is known as paring. This process is used with durum wheat and rice milling. So this process also used for durum wheat and for the rice milling process. Clear? So this I have shared just to understand that how they actually take this bran out, right? How they like taking out one part of this wheat kernel. So interesting to understand, right? Like this is so big because I have made the diagram. Here I make the diagram, it looks so big. When it comes to the real, it's so tiny and small grains. Right, so very interesting to know that how they're really taking out a single particular this parts and all. So this was all about the extraction of a wheat bran. Hope you guys clear with this. Let's go to the next page. Here we go. Well, you can see here, if you like this diagram, please do comment, right? It took a lot for me to draw this. You can see all in detail, right? Right, so here we go. Wheat is 13% of water, 71% of carbohydrate, 1.5% of fat and 13% of protein, where the protein means the gluten, which is 75 to 80%. Clear with this? So this is the bran, right? This is the germ and this is the starch, which is the endosperm. Clear with this? So these are some of few layers of a bran. So this is the outer layer. So I am not showed here anywhere that this is the bran. So this is the outer layer of that. So you can see what are the layers, right? The germ 3% have the lipids, antioxidant, vitamin E, B vitamins, minerals, enzymes, starchy endosperm 80 to 85% of a protein, starch and few fibers and 2%. So this is, I am sharing this if you really want to know some more bit in detail, and just let me know then how much informative this video was for you. I hope you guys clear with this wheat kernel, right? This is the series 1, so stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe, guys. So till then, wheat kernel, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.